Comparing three quantities is not going to be a lot different than when we compared two quantities. We just have three terms in our comparison this time. So if I'm given one combination of terms, then I have to do the same thing to the other two terms to get the missing numbers. So 3 to 5 to 7 is 9 to what to what? Again, if number we know is smaller than this number, then the one we know here has to be smaller than this one. So I first find out 3, and I'm going down this time, and going down is multiplying. So these are each going to be multiplied by something, and they have to be multiplied by the same thing. So 3 to 9 is times 3. So I've got to take 5 times 3 and 7 times 3. So 5 and 21 are my missing terms. Pause the video while you try. Okay, each of these has to be changed by the same number, and the 3 to 12 is the one that I know, and I need to go down. My 3 is smaller than my 12, and I'm taking it times 4 to get my 12, so I have to do the same thing to the 2, which gives me 8, and the same thing to the 5, which gives me 20. The comparisons might be written side by side again, but in that case, the first term still goes with the first blank, the second term still goes with the second blank, and the third term still goes with the third blank. And the one that I know is 14 to 2. And to get from 14 to 2 by multiplying or dividing, I'm dividing by 7, because 14 divided by 2 is 7. So if I divide 21 by 7, I get 3. And if I take 7 divided by 7, I get 1. So my missing numbers are 1 and 3. I also could have written my blanks below. I had blank to blank to 2. And I could have looked this way again and said this time my 14 is going down to 2. So this time I'm dividing by something. And 14 divided by 2 is giving me 7, so I've got to divide each of them by 7 and to get my 3 and my 1. But either way, my final answer is 1 to 3 to 2. Pause the video while you try this one. I can either start by rewriting the right side down below again, if that's what I'm used to. So I could write blank to 1 to blank, or I can look across. So 15 is to what, as 5 is to 1, as 20 is to what. And to go from 5 to 1, either this way or this way up here, either way I'm dividing by 5. So to divide my other terms by 5 gives me 3, or up here 3, and dividing 20 by 5 gives me 4, or going this way gives me 4. So 3 to 1 to 4 is my final answer. If you're giving a comparison of three quantities and it says to put it in simplest form, then I need to find the greatest common factor for 15, 12, and 18. So I look at the smallest number, which is my 12, and I think of the factors of 12, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, and 12, and which is the largest one that also goes into 15 and 18. I see that the number that goes into 15 and 18 and 12, and the largest one is 3. So I'm going to divide by 3 to give me 5, 2, 4, 2, 6. And then I just double check, is there anything that I can divide all three of these by besides 1? And there's not. So this would be my simplest form comparison. Pause the video while you try this one. First I pick the smallest number, which is 8, and I list the factors of 8. 1, 2 times 4, and the 1 times 8. And then I look for the largest of those factors that goes into 12 and 20. Well, 8 doesn't, but 4 does. 4 goes into all of them. So if I divide by 4, I get 3 to 2 to 5. And I just double check that that's as low as it can go. And it is, so there's my simplest form.